Welcome, dear friends. Here we are, another week, another time for study, reflection, for our growth and progress in this life. It's always a blessing and an honor to be with you today with another chapter from the book Courage by several spirit authors through the mediumship of Francisco Xavier. Here we are, chapter 43, another beautiful message by the Spirit Emmanuel that he titled Body and Soul. As incarnate spirits living this reincarnation on planet Earth, we have our body, our physical body, our paraspiritual body, and our spirits. And today we're going to learn on how to balance caring for both of them, this blessed instrument of this lifetime, as well as nourishing our souls as always. So Emmanuel says, quote, on being attentive to the imperatives of spiritual elevation, it is convenient to emphasize the needs of the body as much as of the soul. From time to time, you may search for a competent dentist for dental treatment. However, at the same time, it is necessary to improve the word so that it does not become an instrument of torment. You see opticians or ophthalmologists and listen to physicians in order to rectify problems with your eyes and ears. Apologize. We want to make a note so that I can come back to that thought later. Similarly, it's necessary to see and hear constructively so that evil does not destroy the atmosphere of concord and hope. You search for an ortho physician, orthopedic physician, when your feet needs treatment. It is equally important that to lead your own steps towards goodness. You may ask for help from a cardiologist in order to be treated from problems in the circulatory system. Similarly, it's imperative to elevate impulses from your heart. You employ the services of dressmakers and tailors so that you present yourself at an adequate level. It is equally important to improve our expressions and manners when dealing with others. The care due to certain situations, the appearance of the body, it is equally applicable to the obstacles and problems of the soul whenever we wish to construct our own happiness. Therefore, let us understand that preventing manifestations of anger, rudeness, cruelty, and impertinence will always be a work of self-control and education. By the Spirit, Emmanuel. What a beautiful reminder, right? Some of us, when I say us, I don't necessarily mean you and me directly, but we think about all the spirits that live on this earth that are just worrying about their physical needs, searching for competent dentists for your mouth problems, or looking for ophthalmologists and audiologists to rectify problems with the eyes, searching for orthopedic physicians to work on bones, and his example is on the feet. Then we search for cardiologists to work on our heart. And we work with dressmakers, tailors, seamstress, to allow us to have an adequate level of presentation in other ones. And that's it. And people will go a little bit beyond. They will take care of some hygiene needs, take care of some food and nutrition needs, exercise. But it's all on the physical, taking care of the physical. That's a very unbalanced way of looking at this lifetime. For us, spiritists, Emmanuel is reminding us we are here and the body is a blessed instrument. The same way we care for it, we also care for the needs of our spiritual needs. So no spiritist should be telling others to not care for the body. It's a combination of, as we nourish our souls every Thursday morning, we also care for our physical needs, because the body is the instrument that you and I use in this lifetime to learn, to grow, to build relationships, so on and so forth. So it's very important that we care for it. But we also need to nourish the spiritual um, steps, grow the spiritual steps, grow in the spiritual stature by doing what he says. So, what is the way we go to balance only taking care of the physical needs? Let's say he talks of, first thing he talks about the mouth, dental treatment, right? Orthopedic, excuse me, an orthodontist, a dentist. If you have a tooth pain, you're blessed to have one in your area. You go and treat them. But he says we also need to improve the word, mean the way we speak, what we choose to say to others, how we say it to others. In the book Calmness, there is a whole chapter only on the voice, the words we use, and how to use it. Maybe I will put the link, I'll make a note. I'll put a link, I believe it's chapter 3 on the description. So if you'd like to check out that video for the book Calmness. Then he goes around and gives us examples and says we see opticians, ophthalmologists, audiologists take care of our eyes and ears. But he says it's necessary to see and hear constructively, so evil does not destroy an atmosphere of concord or harmony and peace and hope. So when we go somewhere, what is the first thing we see? What are the things we hear? Is it we only see what's lacking, what is wrong, or do we see what's already built? Or do we hear only the negative, only the complaints, or we grow? We hear what is good, what is happening in the world that is productive and constructive, and we therefore stop evil from propagating. The next, he talks about orthopedics. When your feet needs treatment, your hands, so on and so forth. He says it's equally important to lead your own step towards goodness. And how do we become a better person? With the experiences of this many lifetimes we've had. We go, for example, towards the Spirit's book, the essay 100, all the way to question 113, 14. When the spirits give us the hierarchy of spirits, we learn what it is to be a good spirit. And then every day we choose goodness. We choose to see what is good, to hear what is good. We choose to see the best in people. That goes very well far in life. Chapter 10, Understanding, also by Emmanuel. We try to see our brothers and sisters in humanity in the same way we would like to be seen. We follow what Christ said, right? The golden rule. He says we may ask for help for a cardiologist to treat the circulatory system, but it's important to elevate the impulses of our heart. Then last but not least, the way we dress, we do use certain materials to do an expression. And he says, but it's equally important to improve our expressions and manners when we deal with others. So how do we deal with others? Are we happy? Are we compassionate? Do we smile at people? Do we take time to know them? So on and so forth. He says, the care due to certain situations and the appearance of the body is equally applicable to the obstacles and problems of the soul whenever we wish to construct our own happiness. Therefore, let us understand that preventing what should we avoid? Manifestations of anger, rudeness, cruelty, and impertinence will always be a work of self control and education. So, it is another reminder that we are here to learn the building of those habits, the rebuilding of good habits, because we've built many habits throughout millennia through the many reincarnations we've had here on earth and elsewhere, and we return to learn anew, to learn new things in this world of trials and expiation, self-control and education, which means when anger comes, we are able to tame it, we're able to recognize it. Remember, the first step to change something is to know of it. So we recognize we are still perfectible, we're still learning, we need a lot of things to work, and we give ourselves and others so much um, compassion and understanding that allows us to grow, to educate ourselves, and to be this co-creator in goodness with Christ each and every day. So let's look for improvement of our words this week. Every time we're going to say something, we measure, we think before we say things. We look for things and we hear things constructively so the evil does not come to unbalance us. We ask God for examples and inspiration to lead our own steps towards goodness. We work on the impulses of our hearts, and we prevent manifestations of anger, rudeness, cruelty, and impertinence, because we want to improve these expressions and manners when dealing with others. So, of body and soul, let's take care of the body and let's take care of the soul so that our evolution is faster, is more attainable in this lifetime, that we can grow, we can hasten our steps, always learning, always serving, always giving so much weight to the relationships we have to deal with. And one of the relationships that I very much appreciate is our weekly meeting here. I am broadcasting from Richmond, Virginia, in collaboration with Kardec Radio. We're bringing to you the studies of the book Courage, and I hope that God will grant us many more opportunities of being together. Therefore, God willing, I'll be back with you next week. Until then, stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.